Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yadira. For today's video, we're going to be doing my beauty school experience. This is a very long time due video. We're going to get down to why I decided to go to beauty school, what am I licensed in, how much did it cost, what was the experience like, what was the experience like to go to state board, how much did that cost, as well as what was my experience after beauty school. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite drink, and let's get started. Alright, so let's go back to when I was 17 years old. I graduated high school when I was 17 years old. I was a really smart kid. I was getting straight A's, and I was the first one in my family to go to college. Woohoo! I have always loved makeup, and I've always loved hair, but I never really saw it as a career. So when I was in high school, I always kept thinking, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I went to a university. It wasn't what I expected. None of my girlfriends, none of my friends went to the university, so I was kind of like alone, and I feel like that had a lot to do with it, but at the same time, my heart and soul wasn't in it. I love school. I have always loved school, but I hated being there. And now that I'm older, I'm like, maybe it was just the university. Back in the day, there was a show called Jerseylicious. Yeah, that's how old I am. And that show came out, and I like was so in love with it. And I remember just like thinking like, oh my god, like this is so awesome. People can own their own salons, and you know, they can like dress up and do their makeup and hair all the time. Like that kind of caught my attention, and I like started looking into how much do, you know, makeup artists make, salon owners make, and all of that. I would be in chemistry class and I would start like drawing like my own salon. I'm gonna see if I can find the picture because I still have a lot of like my college stuff. I kept it. Honestly, wasn't even focusing in chemistry. Like the professor's like right in front of me, and we're supposed to be taking notes and stuff, and I'm just like there drawing a salon. So that's kind of like how everything kind of got started. And I would call Jose and my best friends like almost every single day while I was in school, and I would cry to them and be like, I don't want to be here. I hate it here. Like I just don't want to be here. This is not what I want. This is not what I imagined. Like I hate it. I was in college for 2 semesters. I remember just doing research at beauty schools. I was like, you know what? We're gonna search beauty schools, and I'm gonna become like a salon owner. That was like my mentality. I was like, I absolutely hate this whole college thing. I don't want to be a dentist. I want to be in hair and makeup. That is exactly what I did. During the time that I had spring break, I saw a couple schools, and I fell in love with it. I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want. Now, if you are interested in becoming a cosmetologist or a hairstylist or esthetician or a nail artist, a nail person, then I definitely do recommend going into the schools, feeling their vibes, kind of like getting information on, you know, the cost, whether they offer financial aid, how long you have to go to school, because each school does have a different program. I didn't tell my parents that I was going to drop out of college, and that's another thing. I dropped out of college. I just completely said, you know what, I'm taking a break. I'm going to go to beauty school. I told my parents like a couple days before I was supposed to start beauty school, and oh my god, like I think that was like one of the hardest things to do. Like back then, I knew I was gonna disappoint my parents, and I didn't want to disappoint them, and that is how I got into it. Please don't do that. If you are interested in going to beauty school, do your research. Let's talk about money. How much did it cost? My school offered financial aid. Financial aid is money that is lended out to you, whether it's by grant or by loans. My tuition was $22,000. My program was a 2-year program. The reason why mine was a 2-year program And let's keep in mind, every state has different rules, different laws, different requirements. So depending on your state, it's like that's what you'll get. I had to have a total of 2,300 hours completed in order to even qualify to take my state board. Typically, it's from 1.5 to 2 years, but I did know that I wanted to pay off as much as the tuition as I could. So what I was doing is I was working during the day full time and then going to school at nighttime, and I was giving my little payments every single month. I did get a little bit of financial aid, but I only got, I want to say, around $3,000, and I paid the rest. I didn't get any help from anybody to pay for my tuition, but I guess I got some help because I was living with my parents and I didn't pay like rent or any of that. My hours for night school were from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. every single day. So I was working from 8 p.m. to like 4 p.m. depending, and then I would rush and get to school. And I know that the morning schedule was like from 8 p.m. to like 4 p.m. So they were able to put in more hours during the day. Your beauty school kit is included in your tuitions. I'm pretty sure it's like that for every school. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. Definitely apply for financial aid. Maybe you'll qualify for some grants or some loans, who knows, but get help. After you graduate, they do give you a few months before you have to start paying back any kind of loans that you took out. Even if you're not able to pay for your tuition, you definitely can pay it throughout time. I just knew that I didn't want to be in debt like that, so everything that I was making, it was going straight to school, which was a very, very, very smart thing to do. Like, I'm so glad I did that, because I'm like, oh my god, I did not want to be $22,000 in debt plus whatever life threw at us, you know what I mean? So now let's get into the actual beauty school experience. If you are planning on going in, let me set this straight for you. It is hard. It is not easy. I feel like a lot of people underestimate the amount of work that we have to actually put into it to become licensed and to learn what we learn. And a lot of people don't realize how much work actually gets put into this. And if you are a student, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm talking a little funny. I have these little rubber bands that I have to keep in. They kind of make my pronunciation a little funny. Or even people that are not educated on the industry itself really don't think it's like all that. But honestly, being a cosmetologist is fucking badass, okay? Okay, get ready to put in the work. Don't think that you know it all, because you don't. And don't think that it's going to be super easy, because it's not. There are 4 kinds of license that you can get. You can get your hair design license, which allows you to do anything hair related, you know, cutting, color, shaving. There's your barber's license, which is basically a hair design license, which allows you to cut hair and all that. The only difference between a barber and a hair design license is that the barbers get to use a straight edge razor, you know, when they do like the very, very nice haircuts. And then you have your esthetician's license, allows you to do so many different things. It allows you to do makeup, waxing, chemical peels, and laser treatments, and any kind of facials on the face. You're not a dermatologist, so don't get it twisted, but you definitely work really, really close to the skin. And then you have your nail license. Your nail license obviously allows you to work on nails, pedicures, manicures, you know, designs and all of that, okay? I became licensed as a cosmetologist, so I became licensed in the whole field. And this is how it was set up for me. You first start off in back class, and back class is a classroom where you kind of learn terms and you learn definitions. You also get to practice on your mannequin dolls and on each other. I think I was in back class for 2 to 3 to 4 months. I can't remember exactly how long, you're in back class. But they do give you a list of things that you're supposed to keep track of, and you're supposed to have your instructors, which are your teachers, sign off every time you've accomplished one or you finish one. In back class, we did a lot of learning. I was actually surprised that we had to learn anatomy, and we had to learn chemistry, and we had to learn the Oregon state laws like the OSHA. And after you accomplish that, you are on the floor. And on the floor means you get to work on each other, on your doll, and on people. Now that is something that I didn't know that we were gonna have, is like hands-on experiences. So be ready to have hands-on experience. Now let me say, it can be very, very scary at first. And it is very scary. Sometimes people forget that we are students. We're not professionals. We don't know everything that we're doing. We might need help. We might take super long time. Anybody can go into a beauty school. It's at a discounted price. So let's say a hair salon charges $20 for a haircut versus a beauty school is going to charge like $7, you know. Yes, you're paying less to get a haircut, but it's by a student, not a professional, a student, and they are learning. And I feel like sometimes a lot of people forget that and expect like the students to like know exactly what they're doing, or like, why are you even in here if you don't know what you're doing? Witty. Clients can tip you guys. So if you are a client, at least tip like $5. It's not gonna hurt you. You can get repeated clients, meaning clients like the way you did something, and so they request you. When you are on the floor, your goal is to finish that sheet that they gave you and study for state board and complete your hours. Like that is like your biggest goal, and to obviously practice what they taught you in back class. I want to say that my biggest advice for you guys is just don't give up, don't get sidetracked, like just go with it. Try to do, I don't know, I think it was like, the numbers are huge, I can't even remember, but if you're supposed to do like 100 perms, literally try to do, you know, at least one every night. Try to like get good at it, practice it on your haircuts, on everything, because the time goes fast, and if you're not on top of your stuff, you're gonna be running around last minute trying to get your perms in and trying to like do stuff when you had a couple years to do everything, and then you're doing it last minute. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's never a stupid question. Literally, that's how you learn, by asking questions. If something doesn't make sense, bother your instructor. And if that instructor is not helping you, then bother your other instructor. You're definitely going to find a lot of help. I feel like it's not a competition, and sometimes when you are in there, you got to remember all these girls and all these boys are in there, and they're like, oh, I do makeup, I do hair, and they like think they're like on top of the world and shit. But it's not a competition. You guys are classmates. You guys are there to help each other learn, and you guys are there to work together. And at the end of the day, you never know, you might end up working with one of them outside beauty school. So it's like literally not a competition. There's enough room for everybody. I don't know if it was just my beauty school, but my beauty school had drama. These are grown-ass women, grown-ass men acting like we are in high school. And sometimes that can be really weird, especially if you are right out of high school like I was. Or if you are older, sometimes you're like, well, why is this like 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old acting like they're 17, 15. Not everybody, but some people might experience some drama. Don't let it get to you, because again, you are in there with the goal. Finish your hours, finish your tasks, practice, learn, and get through it. I just say be nice to each other, be respectful, be respectful of each other's stuff, of each other's lockers, making friends. Honestly, I feel like everybody kind of goes into like some sort of little clique with the people that you are in back class with. I met some amazing people, and I'm still friends with these girls that I met through there. I don't talk to everybody that I went to beauty school with, but I do keep in touch with some, or I do have them on social media and stuff. When I was in school, they did allow us to work on each other. So like we were always, you know, doing each other's makeup or hair, cutting, shampooing, waxing. That was our thing, the wax room. We love the wax room because we got to like wax each other's armpits and eyebrows and lips. But my biggest thing is don't fall behind. Don't wait last minute. Don't wait till you have a month left to get in your perms and your haircuts and your pedicures and your manicures. Like, don't do that because you're gonna fall behind. So stay on top of it. And if you don't have clients that day, like you can work on each other. They do have mannequins that you can also work on. You can practice. Like, don't worry about who you're gonna do it on. Worry about doing it. I had lots of fun. And actually, you guys, that's kind of like, I've always been into like makeup and stuff, but in beauty school is when I first started posting on Instagram, which was like years ago. I mean, my makeup back then looked like shit, but all the girls were like, oh my god, Yadira, oh my god, I love your eyeshadow today. Actually, guys, I got reposted by Huda Beauty one time and I grew like 1,000 followers that day. That was also a time that I kind of let myself go for other reasons, and I kind of stopped posting on Instagram because you know what? The Lord said, Yadira, you can't handle it right now. So you're going to need to back away for a little bit because when you're a little older and ready, you're going to kill it. So that's what we're trying to do here. So please subscribe. Okay. You still go to back class even after you are on the floor, but instead of going every day, you go like once or twice a week. The biggest and hardest subject was to do OSHA and like the Oregon law and all of that. Like your Oregon law is what you need to like really study, because you can't become licensed in any of them if you don't pass that test. One of the biggest things that I tell any student that's a student now or anybody that asks me about beauty school is learn as much as you can. But honestly, beauty schools don't teach you everything. Like, you're not gonna learn until you are out. When you are in the real world, hands-on, you gotta figure shit out on your own. You don't learn until really there's a real life situation. In beauty school, there's always this kind of safety net, which is your instructors, and they're always able to like help you out or guide you and like tell you what to do as soon as you get a client. But in the real world, you don't have that. There was a few things that I wished we would have learned, like braiding. I suck at braiding. I don't know how to braid. I never learned how to braid as a little girl. I mean, I can do a little like side braid, you know, but I can't like do braids and stuff. And yet that is a service that is offered in the real world. And yeah, there's YouTube videos for that and stuff, but it would have been nice if we were like practicing them, like all types of braids, not just like the side braid, like the fishtail braid, the little tiny braids. I forgot what they're called right now. We didn't learn any of that. Also, makeup. They gave you a makeup kit, but they don't teach you how to freaking apply makeup. So I don't even think like you can be a makeup artist without going to beauty school, you guys. They just kind of taught us the basic words, like what does contour mean, and you know, you apply eyeshadow to the eyes and lipstick to the lips, but they don't teach you shit like that. Don't think you need to spend $22,000 just to apply makeup on somebody. You don't. With hair cutting, you guys, I feel like one of the biggest things is like you can practice on a doll and you can practice, but you still don't get it. And literally, they say this a lot, but it's true. There's going to be a day that you just, something in you clicks and you're like, oh, I totally know how to do this. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about going to beauty school either. I remember thinking that people thought I was stupid, and I'm like, okay, I know chemistry was a little bit hard for me in college, but I'm not stupid, and I'm still not stupid. So don't let that kind of mentality that you're not going to make money or that you're stupid or whatever it is like get to you, because it is not true. It is definitely a very fun career. It's hands-on. You get very personal with your clients. You learn this as you go, but there's like so much that you learn that they don't teach you, but you'll learn it as you go. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I feel like we all have our good days, our bad days in school. At the end of the day, you are learning. You are trying to retain all of this new information that's getting thrown at you. So give yourself a break. Don't get discouraged. We all make mistakes. Also, another big thing, I keep saying that's another big thing, but it's true because a lot of these things I'm talking about are really, really big things. But make mistakes. This is your time to make mistakes. I mean, I'm not saying like shave somebody bald, but I'm saying that if it happens, it's a mistake and you're a student and they can't sue you, they can't sue the school because you are learning and they know that. I have my fair share of mistakes, some during beauty school and some outside school. Like it happens, you guys. You learn by making mistakes. Now obviously try to avoid them, but if it happens, it happens. Once you become like a junior / senior, I believe, they start preparing you for state board. State board is intense. It's hard. So there's two parts for like graduating and getting your license. One of them is your practical and one of them is your written. Your practical is everything that you have learned. So hair cutting, wet sets and perms and massages and nails and pedicures and manicures. Once you're like really close to finishing, you get tested on all of it in one night. So that is why you have to practice, keep your momentum going, and don't give up. And if you fail, you're gonna have to redo it. So once you do your whole model situation, practical testing, you have to take a written test. A written test is supposed to be similar to what you are supposed to expect. They are all multiple choice questions, I believe. Once you have completed your hours, once you have completed all your assignments that you're supposed to do, and you have passed your practical and your written, you are now ready for state board. I want to say to take each test, it was like $70. And basically you go, they will find you in their system that you have completed, beauty school, and you have to pass your Oregon State law exam in order to be licensed in anything. So you can pass all of your other exams, but if you don't pass your Oregon State law, you are not licensed. They put you in this room where they are monitoring you. You have to put all your stuff in a locker, your cell phone, like everything. Like can't go in with anything. They have a camera in there. It has clear windows. All the computers are being faced to where they can see it and stuff. It's all multiple choice. The hardest exam for me was nails. Like there's just so many different like diseases and technical terms that were really hard to memorize, and that I honestly didn't put enough time into studying them because I didn't really think there was going to be any of them, which I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of them. They give you about an hour on each exam, like on each test. So sometimes depending what time you get there, how many people are in line, like you might not have enough time to do the other exams, so you do have to go again. Another thing that I definitely recommend is going right away. So hear me out. If you graduate beauty school and you're like, oh, I'm gonna study for like a month or 2 or 3, and then I'm gonna go take my state board, it's gonna take you a long time to get licensed. It's in the back of your head and you're like, oh, I can just do it. I can just do it. And trust me, you wanna go right away. That is what I did, and I'm so glad I did, because one, the information is still there. You were just studying for your practicals and your written exam, and 2, you are still in this mentality of like go, and you're not giving yourself any room to stop or to like take it later. So I definitely recommend going, if you need to study, give yourself a week or 2 max and then go to state board. Even if you don't pass it, at least you are familiar with it and you are familiar with the questions. Obviously they like switch the questions up a little bit, or they give you different questions, but you are familiar with the questions. After beauty school, for me, I went into doing makeup, freelancing, facials, and I was more into the freelancing world. I absolutely hated that. I started building my clientele. I was building my portfolio. You know, I wanted to do makeup. I wanted to, I love makeup. I love makeup so much, and I wanted to do it. But working on clients is another situation, another story, and I just did not. I think I did it for like 2-3 months, and I hated it, you guys. I hated it. That's gonna have to be another story time video, because that's like a whole story on its own on why I hated it. Depending on what road you take when you're out is how much you're gonna start making. So you can't get out and expect to be making thousands of dollars, because it doesn't work that way. You have to build your clientele. You have to get people to trust you, trust your work, like your work. People are going to come back for you. You can be the greatest person ever, have the best technique, have the best everything ever, but if your personality is not there, they're not going to come for you, or vice versa. You can be an okay person, you know, technical wise, but if your personality is there, they're going to love you and they're going to come back to you. So you have to remember that you do have to build clientele, whether it is at a chain salon or as a freelancer, or, you know, if you are renting a booth, whatever it is, like, you have to build your clientele. Be patient, work on your portfolio. It is a slow start, again, depending on the road that you take. Now, if you guys want me to make a whole video on how to build clientele and how to build your portfolio, please let me know down below. Oh, and you're not gonna make a whole bunch of money right off the bat, you guys. Like, if you do, that's great, that's amazing, but a lot of us don't. I decided to go and work at a fast chain salon, which was Great Clips. So if you guys saw my cutting my husband's haircut, but I had a Great Clips apron, and that's because I did work for a Great Clips. That honestly was where I learned a lot more. I learned different ways of cutting hair. I learned different techniques. I had my coworkers that, you know, just knew so many different haircuts, so many different styles, and they taught me a lot. Time is money in this industry, and the more you can do, the more money you can make. That's the honest truth. And I got to a point where I was making pretty good tips, so I was walking out with cash every single day. Every 2 weeks I would get my check. Yeah, you can definitely make money. You can make a lot of money. But another thing is, you have to put the work and the time into it. Your money maker days are going to be the weekends and Mondays. Like, those are your money maker days. I did that for a little bit, and then I ended up venturing off to working at another salon, and I really enjoyed working at salons. I thought it was fun, even though I'm a very shy person and I'm not good at talking to people. Since it was my job, it was a little bit easier, because it was almost like I had to. Part of the reason why I am stepping away from working in a salon and stuff, or why I stepped away, was a couple of reasons. I ended up getting back into school because even though I want to be in the beauty industry, I felt like a failure. I felt, the older I got, I felt like I could have finished college and I didn't. And it was always in the back of my head of whether it was because I didn't do that great in that class, or whether it was really because I just didn't want to. And I did want to be in the dental field. I decided a few years ago to get back to school and prove to myself, to my younger self, that I could do it. That I can be licensed in two things. That I can be licensed in the dental field, and I can be licensed in the beauty industry and as a cosmetologist. Long story short, I am in college. I don't think I'll ever stop doing hair, whether it's like on family or friends or something like that. It's definitely a very amazing career. You meet so many wonderful people. You help so many different people in so many different ways that you don't even think about it. I don't want you guys to get discouraged from anything you guys ever do, like ever, whether it's to become a cosmetologist, a beauty social media person, a dental hygienist, I don't know, a cleaning lady, whatever it is. Don't get discouraged. Do it. make the best out of your time at your job. That's what I did. I tried my best. And on another note, I do want to do a giveaway for this video. So if you did make it this far, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for following me on my social medias. For this giveaway, it's going to be a little bit different, okay? I'm going to be giving away $50. All you have to do in order to be entered to win those $50 is give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and leave your Cash App with a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys liked it, loved it, hated it, whatever. Just enjoy it. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.